Okay, I wanted to give a quick demo of what we've been building for AstroFlora so far. We have started off building the ICRC 105 and 133 libraries in Motoko, which basically just implement the 105 and 133 blocks. 105 is the install and config blocks that will self confirm that the hash that's been installed, and 133 lets you record every incoming function call, state change, async call, and async return. We haven't used a whole lot of that so far. We'll be implementing that during the third phase. But beside that, we've started to build the AstroFlora application, which starts off with the 118 WASM registry ICRC, which is a WASM registry that lets you give permissions to people to manage versions of a WASM. So version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as your canister type, say an ICRC ledger. As it matures and changes, you can manage it, and it keeps track of which canisters have what WASM hash installed, and then lets you upgrade them. And you upgrade them through a 120 canister, which is the orchestration canister that lets you start, stop, snapshot, install, and upgrade. The AstroFlora front end, we implement our back end, which is the 118 server, the registry server, and then our orchestrator, which is the 120 server, and then we have a front end. So if we run that and we look here, we'll see that we have our application and that there's no canister types. So I'm going to run a quick script here, and that will install a number of canisters and upload the chunks of the WASM into our WASM registry, and then it makes the right canisters controllers, so that now we have these three types. And I can see that there's one version of each. So if I go in here, I can see some details about it. I can see who controls this particular namespace, which includes my plug and what the highest version is. If I log in here, it will recognize who I am, and I can upload a new WASM version. So I'll go in here and I will grab a WASM. So I'm just going to grab the next WASM version and drop it here. You can change some of these values. If I wanted to call it 2 or whatever, I can. And I also do a couple things in here. I can add metadata, which I'm not doing at the moment, but eventually we'll add certain kinds of metadata. And then you put in the candid IDL, which is very simple candid here, and then a default arguments for people to install if they want to do that. And when I click publish, it will let me upload that. I make a couple calls here. And now when I go back to this page and refresh, I should see that I have my highest version is 102. Now if I go to my canisters, I see that I don't have any canisters. I'm going to go and grab one. So this is my test one canister that's actually already deployed on the network. So I will add that canister, which I control and I'm a controller of. And once that is added, sometimes you have to wait for this thing to Okay, so finally registered there. And so now we have our canister, and we'll see that it has a red version number here showing us that we are on an old version. So if I click on that, it's approving get user canisters, which is interesting. I see that I have this information here, that there is an upgrade available. I can also start, stop, snapshot the canister. Snapshots aren't implemented yet, but will be soon. So I can go ahead and click on the upgrade and trigger this. I can set up the parameters for my upgrade call, and it'll ask me if I want to do that, which I will. And we can click over here. We can watch this process here really quickly. It's walking through the steps. It's stopping the canister, snapshotting the canister, pulling the files from the registry, uploading them to the canister using the chunked API, and then calling install chunks, then waiting for the WASM hash to update. Once the WASM hash updates, it will start the canister. I don't have it automatically cleaning up, but cleaning up the snapshot because we want to make sure everything's good before we have that. But eventually the user will be able to update clean up the snapshots as well. So we were in install finalize, so maybe we're done. If I refresh that, should be anonymous. So we get this message that canister hash has changed. Allow us to refresh the canister, and we'll approve that. And you'll see that it already knows that the canister has been upgraded. And if we now it knows it's on the latest version because it went and pulled that from canister settings. And of course here we can start, stop, snapshot, and do some other stuff. But that's it. Oh, there should be an event timeline here. Here we go. And so right now the events are very generic, but they actually have detail in them. So we see every event that happened on the canister. We can attribute it. There'll be details like who's the caller, who initiated it, and all of that. And that's AstroFlora so far.